Hi, Azzzam, Daphne here. Good to hear you writing or see you writing so many essays. That's great. I have made a suggestion, however, actually, about waiting until your corrections come through before you write more. I think it's an incredibly important part of our process that you get the feedback, you understand the feedback, and then you can sort of take into account the suggestions before you write again. Okay, this is really important, so I won't correct the other ones yet. I'll wait until you've had a chance to look at this. So in many workplaces, online communication is now more common than face-to-face meetings. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So over the recent years, it has become increasingly common for employees to communicate on the internet rather than meeting in person. Okay, you don't need to have the recent years. You could just have recent years. Yes, communicate on the internet. Do we communicate on the internet? You can communicate through the internet, and then you might put using video calling. You might put something else in here rather than meeting in person. In my opinion, this development has more significant positives and negatives since it's more convenient and less stressful. Good. Okay, so I like how you're giving me a reason here. That's great. You want to then introduce your essay. So this essay will discuss some of the advantages using examples from in a template. Okay, so take the bits of the template that you like. Okay, but this is quite important to take the examiner into your essay. One essential benefit to consider meeting online is more advantageous is the convenience it provides to your workmates. Okay, that's a very long subject. I would just go one essential benefit of meeting online or of video conferencing. So I think you can cut that down a bit. Is the convenience. Okay, this often allows people to meet and discuss work issues without need to be physically present at the same place. Okay, you can tidy this up. Provides to workmates, allowing them to meet and then carry on. Yep, so carry on into here, but change that. So what I'm doing is joining your sentences together to make a more complex sentence. So complex sentences is something examiners looking out for in terms of your coherence, okay, and your skill at grammar. So allowing them to meet and discuss work issues without the need, okay? Thus, a considerable amount of effort will not be required, such as driving to a site meeting, which often causes, so don't need present perfect there, not present simple, just present tense, or which results in exhaustion for many workers every day. Additionally, numerous people feel that face-to-face business meetings are stressful and cause, so you've got cause again, so think if you can find another way around that, a substantial level of anxiety. For instance, a recent study indicates that more than 58% prefer online meetings. They're stress-free, more relaxing. Therefore, there's ample. Okay, I think this is absolutely fine, but in order to get your band 7, you need to be kind of more than fine. It needs to, it needs to be incredible. Yeah. So I think this is good, and you're not making many mistakes. Fine, but I want to have. Watch out for repetition. So I don't want any repetition. I want a variety of tenses. If you look, this is pretty much all in the present tense. I put your example into the past tense here. Go into reported speech, indicated that, preferred. So at least you're showing a bit of past tense. Yes, that's absolutely fine, but maybe you can have a conditional instead. Yeah? If, or they agreed. If they had not had access to, or Zoom, whatever, during COVID, their business would have been much less successful. So there I put in a third conditional, which is unusual, but that would get you a lot of points in terms of the grammar. So you need to be thinking, what is going to score you good points, okay? So grammar is a really, really important factor. On the other hand, now, you cannot have on the other hand if you haven't got on the one hand. They don't balance. I would actually go anyway, however. I think that's simpler. it is often shown that, or it's off that there are several drawbacks. So that is a nicer way to introduce that second paragraph. This should be taken into consideration. Okay, firstly, companies and workplaces are likely to spend considerable sums in order to assist their employees meetings from a distance. You don't need that. Just go such as developing a functional network, good. A functional network. I'd stop there, and then I'd start this sentence again. Strong start to your sentence with providing the appropriate devices requires having sufficient funds, which are not possible for many businesses. Okay, good. So do you see how I'm just making that sentence more sophisticated? And this one starting with a strong providing possible. Furthermore, online meetings often encounter technical issues. Absolutely. Such problems, like here you're using the same present tense all the way through, okay? Instead, you could have may result, could result, might result. So show some confidence on using modal verbs here instead. Really important. And sessions being interrupted without completion or whatever, and as a result slowing down workflow. Good. Consequently, I don't think you need that final sentence. I'd rather you put more into this than have that. Okay. In conclusion, although there's some drawbacks such as cost, good, well done putting that in, good. I firmly believe the advantages are invaluable. So workers' confidence and mental well-being should be priorities. Very nice. So you've got lots of nice stuff here. What I want to see is more work on the grammar. So more work on the tenses, more work on the modal verbs, more work on maybe a passive verb, that sort of that. So we need to really push to show the examiner that you have got a band 7 skill in grammar, okay? But good on the content. You've understood the question really nicely. So popularity of school subjects, okay? Illustrates comparison between 7 main school courses, really nice. Evident, most popular, good. What IT was the least favourite course, good. Very nice, good overall sentence there. Physical activity classes were the most popular in German schools, yes, which is minimally higher than that of history studies by 0.5. Well, the most popular. Okay, minimally high, yes. Maths and physics, so capital letters here. Sorry, that's what I knew something looked funny. Here we go. So capital letters for the subjects were the second most popular courses, and they accounted. Well, it's the third and fourth actually, because you've got 1 and 2 here. So you'd have to go. Were ranked third and fourth. They accounted for almost similar proportions. Really good. Well done. What I would do is now group these together. So these 4. Key or these 4 subjects, topics or whatever, accounted for over 80% of the total votes registered. Okay, so group those. So you've done a really nice job so far, but group them together, and then that sort of concludes your work on those ones. In contrast, were the least popular, good. Meanwhile, capital letters all the way through, relatively similar. So they enjoy geography classes more. Okay, you could relate these back, so you could add those together, and you could say they were still half as popular as physics or something like that. So we want to have a little bit more of the comparative language. So 4 times more popular than, or half as enjoyed as. So think about how we could get in some comparative structures in here. We want to use the connecting words whereas, while, and you've got in contrast. So try and get all those into your next answer, okay? So please review your essays you've sent me. I don't want to correct those until you've had a look at this and made some changes, and then I'll have a look at them after that. Okay, really good work. I appreciate how hard you're going. Well done.